It's not going to get into the fear of what's going to happen and not happen. He's going to say, I know who and what I am and what I'm not, and I'm not under your dictation. Furthermore, I understand meaning, definition, and purpose. I know the letter of what you're doing, the legal code, the policy, how it all works. I know you're going to try to get me in a room as a person, stand up as the corporation and call yourself the people, right? I know what you're doing. You're trying to do fraud and barratry. Okay, you're trying to trick me out of my position is what they call it on the street. You ain't going to pimp me. If you want to pimp me, you got to bring me in shackles and do it to me by force.
Elementary.
Sure, forget about all your mind control if you can. Forget about everything you think.
So let's say the cop pulls you over, you don't have your license plate, you don't have your license, and
man, that's crazy, huh?
Yeah,
I'm moving property that I upkeep, maintain, and then responsible and accountable.
No, it's crazy to others. To me, this makes sense, but I want to know. Boom! You just get pulled over, the lights are going, and you're like, I can't wait to lay it down on this guy. How do you do it?
So, Paul,
well, where do we start, right?
Right.
Where do we start?
Let me answer, Paul, and you tell me if I'm correct, because I've been watching you and I've watched a bunch of your videos now, and tell me if I'm correct here, so that way, because you speak, so abundantly well that some people who don't speak as you aren't going to be able to keep up because you are just so good with words. So let me see if I can paraphrase this for the layperson who's not quite as technically constitutional as you are, and see if this is correct, so that I can articulate this and if it's right. So what you're stating is that you are a free person and you are given your natural rights by God. And so another man can't stop you on the street with your property and say, show me your papers and I'm going to fine you and fee you, even though there's no victim. And so you
forget about the philosophy of it. UCC 1308 has now been accepted as commercial law on all lands that we call states. UCC 1308 says nobody can be forced into any contract. So you cannot make the statement, do this or else. When it comes to filling out paperwork, signing it, and changing my status and standing or the title of that property, you can't do it. And it's philosophically sound, right? Because we know the philosophy of this is safety is always the means to get everybody out of their private property and their rights. The idea of safety. We're just here again, regulating everyone for their safety. Now pay us some money, sign these contracts, retitle your property so we can regulate it for everybody's safety. And if you don't do those contracts and do those forms, we're going to put you in jail or take your livelihood. That's not how public service works, right? But again, that's how policy enforcement works, because the majority of folks, it has become the common law of this land that nobody knows the difference between legal and lawful. Everybody's riding around with plates. Everybody's part of the body politic and the corporate structure. And therefore, it's presumed and assumed by most of these servants that you are not a man or woman of the people. You are part of mankind.
What's the difference?
You are a human. You are a person, right? Person in Latin is a...
between legal and lawful. What's the exact difference between
I told the guy
lawful?
before, I told Dave before off air, at one point in certain state corporations, it was legal to take other men and women as property. We called it slavery. It was totally legal. It was legal under the crown. Guess what? It was never lawful. We fought a war over. It was not lawful. You can't take people and their property as your state commodities, regulate them and decide what they will and won't have.
Right.
All right. So Paul.
And then I pulled up UC 1308, a party that with explicit reservation of rights performs or promises performance or assents to performance in a manner demanded or offered by the other party does not thereby prejudice the rights reserved. Such words as without prejudice, under protest, or the like.
You know what that amounts to? I can go get all your stupid fucking paperwork to stop you from shooting me on the side of the road because I know what may happen, but none of it precludes my God-given rights. You can't force contract on me and regulate me through that contract. It's like saying I'm going to take a wife and marry her under coercion and then beat her for the rest of her life. And she can't do nothing because she's in a contract we call marriage. No, it's unlawful. I don't care if your culture says it's legal. There's many cultures where it's legal to beat on your woman, cut off her clitoris, and do all types of control and regulation out of ego.
Okay,
This is the failing of the human condition and the psychology we see everywhere at all times. Oh, there isn't any. So you're misusing those lights to
you're
pretend to be
let's say the cop says you're speeding.
Speeding is not a crime. It's a traffic infraction. The word traffic is synonymous with trafficking. Trafficking is moving goods, service, and peoples from point A to point B for payment. It's why we call it drug traffic and human traffic. So again, someone somewhere is going to have to learn the meanings of these words and terms if we're going to uphold the law versus forcing policy on men and women who have rights.
The cop shows up to your, how do you get out of
But this is the thing. You're telling me, how do we get out of something that we're already so far into that the people who are supposed to uphold the law don't know the law, don't care, and are going to
you're able to get out of it.
I have, but other times I've gotten my property taken. I've gotten put in a cell. I've gotten my guns taken, right? I've gotten them back. I've gotten the stuff back with no license, registration, insurance. They told me they couldn't give it back to me. They told me they wouldn't give my guns back till I came to court. I don't go to their court. They have to drag me in. They drag me in. They say a few things. I tell them I'm not coming back here. I'm not submitting to your policy, regulation, and code. They don't even keep me on the bond last time. They let me out with a $1 bond that I didn't even pay and didn't even sign for. I was in a town that I'd never been to and was never going back to. They knew damn well I was passing through. I didn't meet any of the conditions for bail or bond, and they did it anyway because they know, like I know, they're going to fleece most of the sheep who don't know who and what they are. And if they argue with me and take it to trial, they're going to spend a whole bunch of money to get back to the foundation, which doesn't change. There are no guarantees in this. Okay. You don't get guarantees. You don't deserve guarantees because the majority of men and women are cowards and have been for a long time. What you get is a guarantee of self-respect. What you get is the guarantee that you know who and what you are and what you're not, and you went past your fear and you challenged yourself and you grew and rose to the occasion. That's the only guarantee you get. Whether you're going to find yourself in a cell or dead, I can't guarantee that, right? Because again, for a man especially, to secure his rights, he has to be willing to kill, die, or go to jail. That's the reality of it. It's history's lesson. You ain't going to change that. I don't like that dynamic. I wish it wasn't true. It doesn't feel good to me because, again, we've all become weak, but that is the only guarantee, right? And we have not done that. So we're guaranteed slavery.
What I'm trying to get across to people is that people need to be more open-minded across the board and need to be prepared to be wrong, or at least to be partially wrong. And I've accepted that in delete laws is happy to take advantage of absolutely everybody. Now you look at Deborah Rogers, for example. She's a perfect example. I don't like the woman. I think she's an idiot. I'm just being honest. I think she's really stupid for what she did. But the stupidest thing that she did was listen to Chili De Castro, because now her ass is locked up in jail, and it is literally because of him. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of make that point that it's really important for us to stay focused on the fact that we're the good guys. We're the good guys. The fact that we're the good guys. We're the good guys.
Rainbow magic. Let's have some fun. Make marshmallow shapes for everyone. That'll be frosted Lucky Charms.
They're magically delicious!
Good whiskey. Let's keep it. We don't fucking stop making fun of this bitch. We don't fucking stop making fun of this bitch. Making fun of this bitch. Making fun of this bitch. What an idiot, right? Do you not know I know what I'm doing? Do you not know I know what I'm doing? This is 5 years in YouTube right here speaking. Close to 5 years speaking to you here, okay? And steal from him and put up content for. God, man, some people will just never learn.